CA Monk, I would like to welcome you all for the session. My name is Priyal Raichura. I am the head of student recruitment, Middle East, and I'm based in Dubai campus at SP Jain. So for today's session, first, I would like to welcome our industry experts. Mr. Shivam Palan, he's a chartered accountant. Sorry. Okay. So Mr. Shivam Palan, he's a chartered accountant, founder and CEO of CA Monk. Mr. Bhavesh Raichura, he's a chartered accountant, CPA Ireland, Masters in Business Finance, working in the UAE as a finance director. Mrs. Shakira Sheikh, a chartered accountant, completed her MBA and a commercial finance analyst in Sydney. Mr. Yogender Badweli, a chartered accountant pursuing his MBA, head of finance and business development manager in the UAE. Mr. Vishal Purohit, he is a chartered accountant pursuing his MBA. He is a group CFO and senior vice president in Bahrain. So the agenda is that we're just going to take you through, you're going to hear from the experience of these experts that how a chartered accountant or a finance professional can benefit from a management degree from one of the top business schools and prepare for the C-suite. So towards the end, we will also open the Q&A, the question and answer for all the attendees. In case if you all have any doubts, we can address that later. So to begin with, SP Jain School of Global Management, we are an Australian business school and we have a campus in Dubai, Mumbai, Singapore, Sydney, and London. We're accredited by TEXA, which is an education governing body in Australia. These are our faculties. Our faculties come from different corners of the world. If you notice, I have written academic faculty. Now, why do I use the word academic? Because the SP Jain faculties are not only academicians, they are practitioners, they're consultants of top companies in the world, and they bring a lot of real life experience to the classroom. So today's session is about how a MBA is a fast elevator to C-suite for finance professionals. So just a little brief, it is an 18-month course. There are two ways you can do it. Either you can pursue this online via our Engage Learning technology. I will give you a little glimpse of it. And you can also do it on campus, which is in Dubai Academic City. The eligibility criteria is minimum 3 years of work experience after your graduation. It is an Australian degree, so you graduate with it. And the specializations we cover is marketing, finance, entrepreneurship, and operations. So even though you're sitting in any corner of the world, you can pursue this course and actually get a degree from wherever you are. So we don't mention online, part-time, distance learning on our degree. It's a proper master's recognized degree all across the world.
With all the technology at our fingertips today, is it really possible to bring a classroom-like experience online into your home? Can you really sit in front of your laptop and get the same kind of engagement and real-time learning as in a conventional classroom? Sounds unlikely, right?
Sorry, I think I'll have to play again.
Come, let me introduce you to a powerful new way to learn online. Welcome. How is everyone today? It's great to see you all. I assume you've all read the Trust Sphere's case. So, Jim, in Singapore, as the Trust Sphere CEO, What's your most important strategic decision to make today?
So I think that we should pursue people analytics with today's platform while setting aside a small team to pursue advanced technologies.
I think we already have a response here from Dubai. Dr. Gulnara?
I think we need to develop what our customers ask for.
I can make eye contact, moderate a discussion, have a one-on-one conversation, cold call, split the class into groups, take a poll, all real time. The technology allows me to do pretty much what I do today to engage and motivate students in a conventional classroom. So it sounds like we have two approaches to growing the company. Let's take a poll and find out what everyone thinks.
It feels like you're sitting in class because you have a very engaged atmosphere where the professor is asking you questions, there's a lot of cold calling, you see your classmates in class. So it's really been a great experience so far.
10 more seconds. Who answered C? Shirley in Singapore, what is your other way and why is it better?
Could also manage an open innovation portfolio with high-tech startups. That way we can do both and innovate beyond our own resources.
Not a bad option. What I'd really like to do now is diverge converge to come up with some creative solutions to the company's problem. So let's split out into virtual teams for 10 minutes. I'll assign you on a random basis. Each team should choose a spokesperson and then come back ready to tell us what's the core problem. Okay, spokespeople, please use your chat tool to tell us what's the core strategic problem. Artif from Mumbai, why did your team say the CEO is the real problem?
Well, the case says he recognized people analytics to be crucial to their long-term success.
However, the world's fastest growing region is Asia, and the Asian clients wanted risk analytics.
Understood. Oh, we already have a response. With ELO, we bring the on-campus experience of our world-class MBA right to your doorstep. There's no need to come to campus anymore. You can connect and learn with your batchmates no matter where you are, home, work, or wherever you're traveling to.
I attended my first session from Singapore Airport launch. Then I was in Pacific Islands for almost 3 weeks. There I attended my 2 complete modules subject. And I was in Ecuador. There also I attended one of my sessions. I have that flexibility and that connect with my class from anywhere. So I never felt that, oh, I'm missing the class. I'm already in class.
Thank you, everyone. It's a wrap. We'll see you next time. With all
So this is how you can actually do your online MBA sitting any corner of the world. And trust me, it is really convenient. You will hear it from our students today as well. So very important thing is your network is your net worth. And I'm sure everybody will agree with me today, right? So at SP Jain or any MBA, when you do an MBA, you actually connect with so many people. In our cohort, we have around 50 students from across the world. Now, what happens is these students are, from 4 years to 25 years of work experience. The average experience is 14 to 15 years of a classroom. And also there's around 700 years of experience in one cohort. So the amount of, the strength you see there is really great. Now, without wasting much time, I would ask Mr. Shivam Palan, if you could quickly introduce yourself and we can take it ahead from there.
Yeah, sure. So welcome everyone for this session, right? And for a very long time, a lot of my students were also troubling me out, sir, wanted a session on MBA, right? So finally we had a session on MBA. So just a brief about my journey. I'm a qualified chartered accountant. I cleared in 2019. After I cleared 2019, right, always had a vision to build out something great. So I started a venture called as camonk, but parallelly, I always wanted to see what do MBA guys do. So to understand that, I also went to IIM Indore, right, to understand what is real world talking about and what is happening there, right? So from there, I started learning about those journeys of MBA guys, and that helped me to understand how does a research is done on a practical way. Right? That has taught me what is something which will help you to differentiate from others. So this is something which I am working into. I am also helping the students out in the best possible way to help them out in whatever way they can grow and get placed into the best companies of world.
Thank you so much. Mr. Shivam, you are a mentor to many qualified professionals. What skill gaps are you trying to address to prepare them for their career journey?
Yeah. So since after I see a lot of qualified CAs, right? The one thing which a lot of CAs miss out is first, generally if I ask someone how many friends you have or what is your network, right? They're like, nahi, sir, we are CA students, right? We don't have any extracurricular activities in our resume. And literally when I take the sessions out, one question everyone asks me, sir, I don't have extracurricular activities, sir, what I can put it in my resume. So that is one thing which is missing in a lot of students' curriculum. That is one. Second thing, which is, of course, a lot of students are not presentable in terms of thought process. They are not storytellers, right? They are not able to sell themselves in a better way, right? So that thing which I feel it out is a huge gap in a CA journey, and students is missing out in their life.
Great, thank you. Yes, Mr. Bhavesh, you are a finance director. So how do employers perceive chartered accountants with an MBA, and what advantages does this combination of qualifications offer?
So, first of all, before what an employer thinks, I'll tell you, I qualified in 2004, and between 2004 and 2011, I was an internal auditor. So I myself never believed that I can be part of top management any sooner. And as soon as I completed my master's in business finance, I started thinking I'm in a wrong place. I don't want to do fault finding business or write those internal audit reports anymore. I switched my CV to a literally finance director or finance controller role and changed, started my perception started changing. So I remember my first day in my master's in business finance, a guy came and spoke at 2:30 in afternoon saying that, for making something like Delhi airport, how much funding is required? It was 25,000 crore. And they told government gave us 250 crores. So, conventional chartered accountant will say 1:2 times you can get project finance loan, or like in those days at least. So we were like, shaken up by the case study of funding 1% is given and almost 99% has to be raised kind of scenario, and so on. Like, day in, day out, I started feeling that a very big shift is there between what I had. Like typical today, an employer will hire a chartered accountant for accountant role. Most of us are conventionally happy with big fours. But if you are a CA plus MBA, I think you will go to mid to top management role easily. And one of the hypotheses which I have is, when we start working, every human being is with too much of bias. So what happens? I will think credit control is most important, or profit margins are most important, or cash flow is most important thing in my business. And that's how it functions. What MBA will allow you to do is give a glimpse of marketing, give a glimpse of sales, give a glimpse of operational efficiency, or operations as a process, or logistics as a process. When you start knowing other people's field and their contribution to the company, you start having an educated guess. So, when times are uncertain, this educated guess helps you to give a holy bargain to other departments where overall organization survives. Like we saw a big change in shifts when COVID-19 happened. And I remember there was a time people were cutting cost and we went double down. A lot of online companies went double down. We protected our employees. We did different things, and we had a best year in 2020. So yeah, this is what an employer will look, an open mind who can understand organization much better. And I think as much as CA teaches a hardcore finance pretty well, and I know since I qualified, there's a lot of shift and institute is continuously trying to catch up. But I think still MBA can have slightly better edge in terms of having that 360-degree view because of kind of curriculum they have.
Thank you. Thank you. Very well explained. Shakira, could you share a little about yourself? And coming from a strong finance background, what inspired you to pursue an MBA from SPJM?
First of all, Priyal, very good, presentation, amazing. Congratulations on that. And the video for ELO that you shared, it brought back a lot of memories, when I used to sit in class. And it is amazing technology that SP Jain has. And I'm so glad to be a part of this forum today, with my own fraternity. So thank you so much for the opportunity. Coming back to your question, yeah, I come from a very small town in the state of Gujarat in India. And as as young students aspire to become a lot of things, I aspired to be a CA. And for pursuing my CA final, I moved to Mumbai. I did clear my CA. I did clear my CS. I had my career going on really well. Then I moved to Dubai, and the career just shot up like anything, and the life was fulfilling, and it was so much better. Things were going well. I was earning really well. I had family. Everything was well. But then there was one thing when I felt that I was not able to communicate to my peers or my colleagues in a way I should. I mean, I am at the epitome of success when it comes to finance. There is nothing more or no more higher ladder you can go to. But then when I used to talk to the marketing guys or the operations guy, the logistics, IT, even sales, we all used to speak different languages, but we all meant the same, achieve corporate goals. So when things come to achieving certain goals or having certain strategies, you want to speak the same language, but then at the end of the day, you just keep on arguing about things. So I knew there was something missing. So it took me some time to understand what is it. And then, bang, it was there right in front of me. I said, why not do an MBA? Because it gives you, as Bhavesh rightly said, it gives you a 360-degree view of the entire business. Because at the end of the day, finance is just one function of a business. It's not like it's there. You are at the epitome of finance. But then if you want to give even more above, if you want to go become a CEO, if you want to lead a company, if you want to grow even more, you need to be able to communicate in the language in which others can understand you. So, when I speak and I say, this is the ROI, marketing guys, go off, for them, ROI is a different thing. Every subject has a different vocabulary. So when I say ROI, they understand ROI in a different fashion. And that is what MBA helps you to understand, that when you say ROI, it doesn't really mean return on investment for MBA, for marketing people. It is something different. So it helps you, bridge the gap. The moment you bridge the gap, you have those, kind of relationships that are built. And, when you want to grow, and when you say something that this is the strategy going forward, you can explain it to them in their own language, which helps you. So this is what, made me go for EMBA. And when I look for, institutes in and around Dubai, because I was in Dubai at that time, I thought, SP Jain is the best because it fits really well with what I require and as an executive or as a working professional. It gives you that flexibility and freedom, to move around, even if you're late or you're early, you want to delay, you want to continue, you want an F2F, or you want an online platform. So it was amazing, Also, plus it is also in a ranking with the Forbes list. So, it was never going back. And plus it was an Australian degree and I knew that I was moving to Sydney. It is another additional benefit that I had. So yeah, that is the reason why I chose EMBA and to go ahead with SP Jain. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you, Shakira. Thank you very much. Yogender, it's fascinating that you are working as a head of finance and also managing the business development side. So how MBA is helping you explore new horizons?
Yeah. Thank you, Priya. I mean, the presentation is very good, which you presented. It's awesome. I mean, it explains how MBA student can pursue the courses in the SP Jain. So coming to the chartered accountant and the current business scenario, chartered accountant of definition is different. No one is looking at an accountant, as Bhavesh clearly told. And the chartered account definitions, management is looking at take the responsibilities of the business side along with the account side, because most of the accounts is done by the nowadays ERP package. The chartered accountant's role is very minimal and very less. Most of things automation kind of a thing junior levels are doing. So that makes the people should take the responsibilities, additional responsibilities in the company, and to get into the higher roles into the organization. So when you want to take the higher roles, so because the management looks at chartered accountant, it's just a accountant. So they need some skill set. They need some sort of the analysis kind of a thing, the qualifications kind of a thing, which will enable them to get into the business roles. And since so because I am in the head of the finance, because I mostly take care of the treasury functions of my company in GCC countries. I cut across the various countries, Saudi, Dubai, Bahrain, and Qatar countries for the funding of my companies, group companies. So when I go to the bank, and then the chartered accountants generally, look at that from, okay, presenting something, but we should sell the banks to get the funding, so that they will understand what company is looking at, what banks are looking at. Because to bridge this one, it requires some sort of the presentation skill set is needed, how to understand those things. It's the most important thing to all players as MBA graduates. So that is why people are looking at not only chartered accountant course, which will have the additional course in MBA graduate, which will clearly explains them to how to deal with the certain management activities and all. So because of this treasury function which I handling with various banks, it also enabled me management to give an opportunity that look at the contract manufacturing of the business development of my company. Because I am into the pharma company, I deal with the business development with various countries, Europe, USA countries and all. So in this case, the concept what yellow function, SPJ and MBA class is explaining is very well detailing that some of the areas like operation management and customer interactions, presentation skills, and those things are enabling us to excel my skill set and to take the more responsibility in the organization, which will take it to the next level of the organization. Because I'm into the race of the next promotion list of my company, because the additional responsibility taken, and this qualities enable me to take into the next level. And SPGN is no doubt is giving the good opportunity of it, learning all those skill set. And I would request them take the as an opportunity to join as a SPGN. Thank you.
Thank you, Yogendra. Thank you very much. So, as you're already hearing our students who have pursued this course, the fact is that the curriculum has 30 subjects. So it is a vast curriculum that we have. And, every subject that you are learning, you're going to implement in your regular work life. That is what our objective is. And also enhancing a leadership skill. I mean, that is very important while you pursue or while you choose an MBA. This is one of the important factors you should always keep in mind. Moving ahead with Vishal. Vishal, you're already a CFO. So what made you decide to do an MBA now?
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon. Priyal, again, thank you so much for having me on this panel, this elite panel. Before I speak, being a chartered accountant, I need to find out some faults, right? So in your presentation, you have mentioned us Mr., Mrs., whatever, and then you said CA. We would like ourselves to be recognized by CA, because believe me, all of us burn our midnight oil to get that degree. And still, again, many of us get dreams that we are giving exam and something happened and we are not able to answer, or maybe sometimes we are not able to reach on time to the exam center, and all kind of stories are there. So all the people on this me in this meeting will able to correlate to me for that. Now coming back to my journey and why I'm doing it, just for a brief, I did my CA around 20 years back. To 2003 I qualified. After that, as an accountant, you join in Big Fours. I did that. I worked into different kind of industries, developed different kind of skill sets. But again, whenever I am going and giving my opinion, that opinion was always termed as accounting opinion. And, it took me some time to understand why accounting opinion is not the right opinion, or probably it's not the complete opinion. As you go through the, corporate ladder, you try to participate into different activities and you hear other departments, other specialists, other, area, you understand that accountants typically are very practical people. They kind of always look at the factual side of the things. And your specialty is always numbers. So again, a lot of things said, it's always difficult for the last person to speak, because, from CA Shivam to Yogendra, everybody has covered some part of it. So for me, again, just to give you a brief on a practical side of what I learned. So in my, I started myself as a finance manager after I completed my term in Big Fours. And then I was given some strategy assignment. It was a very, very difficult assignment for me, considering I was lacking on the presentation skills and, to convey my message in a short form. how to talk to a marketing guy about a blue ocean strategy, how to talk to a kind of a guy who is into sales business, his job is to sales. And, you know, because my group was having a different kind of businesses, my connection or connecting to them was difficult. Lucky enough, I was sent to different B schools, B schools like Harvard, Wharton, Oxford University. I've been to all of them and, did some small courses there. And that augmented my understanding of people who are, who have pursued MBAs and people who come, from those backgrounds and how they are able to easily connect and present their thought process to the audience. And I kind of thought that probably that will be a significant addition to my skill set. So yes, as you will be going into corporate life and as you will gain more experience, if you limit yourself to accounting role, or probably I will say not accounting, anything which is more of a finance role per se, your sphere of influence will be limited. If you want to increase your sphere of influence and you want to have more command into any meeting, you have to go into the shoes of people who are, as Shakira said, you have to talk in their language. And when you do that, you will be able to connect with the better, and you will see that your voice will be more prominent. You will be heard. And I think money is a sub-product of how influential you are into that boardroom or that meeting room where you're going. If your voice counts, if your ability to contribute to the final decision counts, you will always be required in that meeting room. So I think I'm having a 10 plus years of being a CFO. I'm here to update, refresh all my skills. And believe me, sitting in a class of 50, all of us, when we do CA, we have our own models of studying. We are mostly bookworms, do work, articleship, and then come and, on our own merits, we try to study. We don't kind of know how the classroom environment actually works. EMB LO environment gives you that. You will make friends for life. I'm in a class where we have 45 people. And everybody, some of them are engineers, some of them comes from architecture background, some of them comes from marketing, some of them are actually statisticians. And all of us kind of come to different groups. We learn from each other's expertise and try to come up with real projects, which again augment our learning. At the same time, you kind of go into those areas which you were not comfortable before. So I request all of you to consider it. It will give a kind of a different height to your careers. Thanks, Priyal, for having me.
Thank you, Vishal. Thank you, Vishal, very much. And for pointing out, I think I will address everybody as CA now. So, CA Shivam, you have placed 8,000 plus chartered accountants. What would you suggest to them as the next step to climb the ladder to the C-suite?
Got it. So in this journey, I've trained a lot of students out. I've done a lot of placements. One thing which I generally say to students is that at the end of a day, you need to become a specialization of something, right? Just giving a small example, like imagine that you're going to a normal doctor, right? If you go to a normal doctor, how much fees he's going to be charging at max? He's going to be charging 500 or 1,000 max, right? But if you go to some specialization in a doctor, like a heart surgeon or a neurologist, right, he'll not ask you below 10,000, right? Minimum wahi se chalu hoga. So what is important here in this journey after you want to grow, it's very, very important to bring out a specialization of something, right? Now days are gone where you say that I have one degree out, I'll be growing on the basis of that. Of course, it's an era of a competition. So when the competition come into the picture and world, you need to showcase that you're the best. And to showcase something you're the best, you need to have something which can help you to leverage. And one of the best things which I always tell to my students is that you always need to invest in one thing, and that is in education, right? So education should be something which should be investment. Even if you're age of a 50, right, you need to invest there so that you can grow in a better and a faster way. So that is something which I feel it out is important for the students. Next, very, very important for the students, those who are listening this out. And that is, at the end of a day, right, everyone is a salesman, to be honest. I always say to my students, right, आपको बेचते आना चाहिए अपने आप को, आपको बेचते आना चाहिए लोगों को, right? Imagine that you're a partner in Big Four. What you need to do? The more clients you bring, the better promotion you're going to be getting in, right? Or more revenue share you're going to be getting in, right? And a similar way, if you're a CFO of a company, right, you need to sell it to the investors. Ki, haan, dekho bhai, why my company is the best, right? So at the end of the day, you need to become a salesman's guy, right? So that you can sell it out to the people, you can sell it out to the investors, you can sell it out to the others and bring out more business or a client, right? So that is something which you guys need to work on over a period of time. And if you want to grow fast in your career.
Thank you. Thank you so much. CA Bhavesh, you are passionate about people's career growth and reskilling. Based on your experience of 20 years, what value you think that a business school like SPJN can add into a candidate's career? You're on mute, sorry.
Typically, any business school and SPJN, I've seen the leadership course. Also, critical thinking is something which we need to develop. And maybe there are a few more skills. Yeah, but I'll give one example. Say, for example, in CA, everybody studied merger and acquisition, a favorite topic, at least for a few of them. My favorite for sure. So, when we saw HDFC and HDFC Bank's merger, biggest merger in India, maybe. So we think by definition that we had a formula, and by this formula, we think synergy comes into place. But in real life, I bought HDFC Bank in huge quantity while I was looking the merger discussion. And merger synergy comes into play only when operations are aligned, only when systems are aligned. So technically, just to give you a brief, if there is a branch in Surat or say any other place, there is a HDFC branch and there is a HDFC Limited branch. They might align, they might reroute few staff, they might maybe reduce some staff, they might create a operational efficiency, and then only the efficiency in the share price or efficiency in the business model comes in. But we as a chartered accountant are very comfortable assuming that moment merger happens, the synergy has to come into value and stuff. So there are a lot of aspects which you will learn over a period of time while you're doing MBA or studying further, like, from finance to other roles, that a particular value will come from this particular place. And that's what is MBA for, at least.
Thank you. Thank you so much. CA Shakira, you first started with the EMBA program in Dubai campus. However, then you moved to Australia and completed the course online. How was your transition?
Sorry, yes, took some time to unmute myself. Yeah, when I joined MBA, that was the time when the world was coming out of COVID, and we were just allowed to get out of the houses, and I was dying to get out of the house. So I chose for face-to-face, and it was amazing. 6-7 months I went for face-to-face, but then it's like every weekend, from morning to night, I am in the classroom, and I missed my family, missed my kids so much. So I said, why don't convert it into an evening batch? So it was like I moved to ME, which is a Middle East batch, which was like Thursday, Fridays, and Saturdays in the evenings only. So then I had one full Sunday, free, to be with my kid. So I was really happy with that. But then life moved on, and the time came when I had to move to Sydney. So then again, it was like I was just hopping, skipping, and jumping, different batches. But that is the flexibility that EMBA with SPJN allowed me to, pursue. So when I moved to Sydney, I again went into an online batch, which was for, Saturdays and Sundays. So then it helped me complete my course without any disruptions, even though the journey that I was going through was, a lot of ups and downs going, and, even my mind was changing, whether I want a weekend or whether I want an evening, or, whether I want a face-to-face or whether I want an online. So a lot of changes, but then SPJN always had a solution for me. So what SPJN does is it caters to the needs of its students. So basically, we are the customers of SPJN, and it knows really well how to, give or provide solutions to its customers. And that is why you stick around with it. And it gives you a flexibility of time as well. So even though the course is for 18 months, you can still take your sweet time, to complete it within 5 years. So much of flexibility around this one simple course. You can come in, you can move out, you can do the courses you want, you can come out, and then again rejoin where you left. So that kind of flexibility, I don't think so any course that I have researched for I've gotten. So yeah, kudos to the SP Jain team, for allowing its students to be, so flexible and still ongoing with the course and completing the course. It ensures that you complete the course in the time frame that has been given to you. Yeah. Thank you so much, Priyal.
Thank you. Thank you so much. CA Vishal, since you're currently pursuing the MBA course, how are you managing your study and work-life balance?
Not a easy answer. See, again, as you grow into your roles, office work definitely again becomes very much demanding. MBA is also demanding, and especially when you are pursuing subjects which are not your natural dance, right? So it is definitely challenging, but believe me, these days we are spending a lot of time on social media, looking at news which is absolutely of no use to you, sometimes doing mundane tasks which again can be managed in a better way. So when you are pursuing a higher goal, something like doing MBA, all things, the way you prioritize all changes. I am happy to be in an MBA course because all my unnecessary activities which used to take my time are slowly reducing. The course is demanding for sure. Again, if you're learning something, you have to be in that uncomfortable place. The best thing about SP Jain is the kind of faculties they are bringing it in the classroom. These are not people who are very theoretical. These are people who have significant experience into a practical life. People you talk to who have done your type of roles, probably more senior roles than you, and they can understand your challenges. They will able to talk to you in your language, and they will able to correlate to you that how a particular problem can be managed. So that is where managing my personal time and my office time is becoming, I'm able to manage it. Here, one more thing which I will tell you about the newer students, like people who are probably in earlier part of their career. You will get a lot of guidance from the professors because they will able to tell you about certain things which you will only learn once you put 10-15 years of experience. That is another very, very positive part of doing MBA with SP Jain. So overall, for me, I'm very happy. Again, I'm still early part of my MBA. I've just completed 4-5 months learning from Shakira. She is one of the positive force here, which is kind of completed recently. So all of us, CA Shivam from IIM Indore, he will able to also tell about that how his thinking process augmented after doing MBA. So I will request all of you to not to be just bean counter, being a CA. That's what we are treated as. Try to be having a overall 360 kind of degree view of the things by getting good knowledge about how other departments looks at it. Case in point, if you look at today marketing, we will always give example of Bonvita selling, false product. But when you ask to a, professor that whether that is a false advertisement, the kind of perspective she will give you, it will open up your way of thinking. So, this course is definitely good. Why MBA? MBA is a must for every CA in our kind of environment. Why SP Jain? Because you will not get a better platform to do such a rich course sitting at the comfort of your house, but it's not an online course. It's more of a classroom course where you will be talking to all your cohorts. You will have your private WhatsApp groups also where you can crib about the professors. All that is normal. That should happen. That's a part of learning. At the same time, you can be upfront, direct to the professor. You can ask him difficult question. They will also come. They will be sometimes answering you. Sometimes they will say that, okay, we need to go back and come back to you after proper answers. So everything is a learning process. You are investing into something which will take you significantly higher up in your corporate journey. Thanks, Priyal.
Thank you so much, Vishal. Actually, thank you for bringing up that, yes, it's not an online MBA. It's actually a live interactive course. So when, somebody looks at the online and they say, oh, it's online. No, it's not a recorded class. It's not on Zoom. There is a lot of live interaction and you will not feel you're out of a classroom. You are observed from every angle by the faculty. So if you're not sitting upright, they will tell you, please sit upright, change your light. I cannot see your face. So everything is taken into consideration. And, also talking about, we humans are, so like, we don't want to move out of our comfort zone. And that is the reason we all keep postponing our education plans. Why not this year, after next, after 6 months, after this, my child is growing, my child's education fees or something or the other. I've just started a new journey in my career. So if you want to do something, do it now, do it today. Because if you keep procrastinating, it will never happen. And I mean, these are life examples in front of you from different universities as well. They have done a master's, a management degree, and this is where their journey is today. So if you want to grow, you have to take up the challenge, and you have to take up a rigorous course. Because at SP Jain, as I mentioned, 30 subjects is what a part-time MBA, a full-time MBA, both have 30 subjects. Also, one more thing before I move ahead, the online course you can join. We have two batches. We have a global batch, which is Saturday, Sunday. It is for more suitable for students who are based in India, Singapore, etc. Because the timings will be around 8:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. India time. And we also have another batch in case if you don't want to do a Saturday, Sunday, it'll Middle East timings, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday in the evening, 7:30 to 10:30 Dubai time. So we have two batches, whatever your convenience. Sometimes if you miss a class in your own batch, you then cover up with another batch. All right. I think Shakira is smiling away. I think the question should be for you because you've completed this course. So, Shakira, how have you managed your study and work-life balance?
Oh my God, don't ask me about it. But then, yeah, it was a lot easier than where I was when I was pursuing CA. I mean, CA was like hell. If somebody would ask me to appear for CA final, I would literally die rather than appear for the CA finals. But yeah, coming back to MBA, I didn't have a family. I didn't have a husband. I didn't have a kid. I didn't have in-laws. Life was, hunky dory. My parents were there. My siblings were there to take care of me. But then when MBA, when I said I want to do MBA, the first and foremost thing was to get the support of my husband. So I asked him, that I want to do this, but it will not be easy because every weekend for the next 2 years, you will not see your wife. And the rest 5 days, I'm already working like hell. So what is your say, And he's very lovingly said, whatever you feel fit, whatever you think is good for you, whatever you think you need to do, you just do it. And I am there to support you. So with that, in mind, I just left my kid with him. My mom was there. She used to help out. But then again, it's not only about, at that time, it was like 1:30 to 8 in the evening. So it's not only from afternoon to night that you are there. After that or before that also, you still need to work on your assignments. So every course has 3 or 4 different assignments. There are a few which are individual assignments which you have to do yourself, and there are a few where it's a group assignment, so you can still manage your task, give 20% to each one of you in the group, and then you can settle it down. But then at the end of the day, everything needs to be worked around only during that working week that you have. So how do you do that? So then, when I used to come back from work, I used to completely, I used to finish all the household chores. And then at night, at 9 o'clock, I used to sit down. At least 2 hours a day I used to spend on whatever I'm supposed to do for MBA. So whether it is an assignment, whether it is a further reading, whether it is an initial reading or a later reading or going through the cases, it's always the 2 hours that help me. And then, of course, during working hours, if I used to get some time, some slack time when it's not a month end or a year end or an audit or, something is not going on. So then I used to take those time out and then use those time to work around the assignments or basically, learnings or even in fact, when I used to be in the F2F batch, that is a face-to-face batch, because people don't understand, people from sales, marketing, operations, research, strategy, they don't understand finance. So when we started with financial accounting or management accounting, or even M&A for that matter, they were, completely lost. So I used to provide them tuitions, so that was another additional factor that came in. So they used to all come over to my place, after working hours, and we used to sit and, it's like a group study that was going on. So there was a lot of, friendships or bonds being built up. So yeah, it was amazing, It was really fun now that I look back, but at that time we used to be like, I just need that half an hour or 15 minutes to be with my kid. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's all there, it's all done, it's all dusted. And now I'm sitting here happily. So I'm really, grateful. So yeah, thank you so much, Priyal, for asking.
Thank you. Thank you. CA Yogender, can you share your experience how MPO or the problems at work or mini project at work at SPGen in your curriculum has helped you in your professional life?
Yeah. Yes, Priya. See, I mean, the mindset of the chartered accountant is different from the person who is looking at the MBA. Because the mindset of the chartered, look at the accountancy, bookkeeping, documentation, those things. But when you are looking at the MBA course and all, I mean, the shift happens, the mindset thinking and all, where you need to see the analysis point of view, flow chart, process engineering diagram, how the 360 degrees performance view, and each case study to be looked into the really in depth, what exactly happened, what to be done, what improvement to be suggested. So all these so case study project studies at the EMPA, I mean EMPA is a mini project at work. So the live experience which professors are giving us to look into that one, and then to analyze, to come out the what exactly happened, what is to be the best to be done, what should have been to improvise the worst thing happened in the companies and all. Some of the case studies we take the Harvard case university. Some of the case studies we take the COVID incidents happened with the companies having collapsed, and now they are reviving aggressively, taking the Emirates Islands and all. So the case study which professor is explaining to us, in a brief way, and then what we do is we will look at the what we should look at the flow chart of the process flow chart and an operation chart to determine that one, and see we look at the how we can improvise the performance, how we can explain the things to be corrected in a proper way, so that it enables the some sort of analytical skills to present the situation to the professor, what exactly to be taken forward on this one. And the case study, the project case study, we do case study in each subject. If you take the operation management, if you take the strategic finance, if you take the strategic management, strategic marketing, and all the subjects, we do the case study and all. And each case study, it has its own kind of the environment, kind of looking at the things. If you take the strategic management, it's a marketing kind of a role which we do. Strategic finance, we look at the company operational performance and financial performance, how it is going to do. And then operation management, if we do the case study, the company will look at the live experience in the current organization or in the market, or we will explain to the professor the operations, how to be better to be done on this. So it enables the students to look at the live examples to gain a knowledge how to present the skills, communication skills, and develop the kind of the analysis thing, so that it will give the flavor to the students, that 360 degrees performance view and all. So the mini project, it's an awesome exercise which is a given opportunity. I don't think so. I mean, being a chartered accountant course, we didn't come across that kind of the courses in our regular course, and it's just only it gives the MBA will give an opportunity to look at the things.
Thank you so much. CA Shakira, how crucial is it to improve and learn soft skills for a chartered accountant and move up towards the C-suite?
Oh my God, soft skills is something like, like one of my mentors once told me that, Shakira, you are a diamond. So you are a diamond, but the diamond needs some kind of, sharpening or cleaning, or, it needs to be cut to have its full price there. So soft skills is that to a CA. So CA is already there. It has an abundance of knowledge, which I don't think so anyone can, partner. I mean, no one can touch that kind of knowledge when it comes to finance. So you are the master of your own function. But when it comes to growing or climbing that corporate ladder or being into that C-suite, you need to have a kind of soft skills, the way you speak to your stakeholders, not only internal, but also external stakeholders. How do you manage them? Do you speak what they want to understand, or are you speaking your own language, which they don't understand? Because there was one time, we had this presentation and I went up and, I started explaining to the cohort that this is 20% up, advertisement cost has gone some 20% up. So, the profit has gone this much percent down. So this is affecting that. And they're like, Shakira, what are you talking? We don't understand this. And I was like, oh my God, seriously, even if I talk about percentages, these guys have no clue, what I'm talking about. So I had to go to that level of understanding that they have and then present it that way. So all the percentages and all the numbers are gone out of the window and you speak their language. And that is when they say, oh, Now I understand why advertising expenses are affecting the sale of any product or not affecting the product, or why it should be removed or why it should be there. So, it is all about how you present, how you manage. So there is something called ECAPS. I'm not sure, not everyone would be aware of it, but ECAPS is this short courses that SPJN has on every alternate weekend for an hour and a half, and they enable certain soft skills into you, like like CA Shivam said, personal branding, which is what it is like selling yourself. So that is personal branding, how you want to brand yourself, how to make small ideas big, or persuasive public speaking. I mean, the way you see me as I'm talking right now, it is not the Shakira which was there years ago. So MBA has refined the way you speak in a public forum, enhancing the positive quotient, or even elevator pitch. So I have this one small, life event that I went through. I happened to meet Indra Nui, and I didn't know what to do. But then, because MBA had taught me how to have an elevator pitch, which is like within 15 or 30 seconds, you should be able to speak to a person whom you feel you want to connect with or have some kind of opportunity. So I went ahead and I spoke to her, and in that 15 seconds, she was so interactive with me that she let me ask her more questions and she was answering back. So this is like next level. I don't know who Indra Nui is. Everybody knows who Indra Nui is, but just finding her walking on that path, and you're like, excuse me, and then just start talking about it. So how do you do that? If I wouldn't have done MBA, I would have just said hi, or I'm a big fan, or something blabbered out, something would have come out. But then, because EMBA has polished you in a way that you are now confident enough to walk up to people who are, at that level and present yourself and let them know where you come from, who you are, and then have a conversation. That's all you want. So, that is how you're making them know that you are somebody's in the world. So I think these soft skills let you, go that extra mile. We always think that, when you are in finance, I was at a finance manager position when I was in Dubai. Next level is CFO, after that, maybe a finance director, but then how do you reach to CEO? How do you manage all the business functions? How do you let all the business functions listen to you? I mean, what is research? What is, strategy? You don't know that until and unless you have an understanding of it. Also, another additional thing that, I'm just deviating from the question a little bit. Another thing is networking. So I now have friends not only from US, Germany, Europe, or Singapore, India, Middle East, or even from Australia. I have friends from Melbourne, so it's not like I'm benefiting from them, but then I still have a strong network whom I can reach out anytime I want to and, talk about things. I can have their own viewpoint. So, it helps you develop in a 360-degree way, as rightly said by Bhavesh. So yeah, thank you so much for that question, Priyal.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So as Shakira mentioned about ECAP at SPGen is Executive Career Acceleration Program. So what we believe is that how much ever you study, but without any soft skills, you can never have a career progression. And trust me, guys, I have been with SPGen for the last 9 years. I am very passionate about this course because I have actually counseled so many students and I've seen that their careers have a complete transition. In 6 months while they do a course, I see a complete personality change. Like the day I meet them, they are so soft spoken and they're so, not very confident. And after 6 months, they are on the screen like you are today. So thank you everyone for sharing your experience. And I'm sure it's going to motivate a lot of people. Just one more thing. I think in the attendees, we also have students who are fresh chartered accountants. So we have a master's in global business course. I have shared the link in case after the session also, you have any questions, any doubts, anything. I have, sent my email ID. Send me an email and we'll connect you to the right team. CA Shivam, last question for you. What is your overall experience talking to a qualified CA and a finance professional? And how, as a business school, can we add value to the careers of these qualified professionals?
Got it. So a lot of B school will help you out to do and research on your own, right? It will make you a hustler from a problem solving statement to normal approach, right? So generally, if I give a case study to someone here saying that generally when I went to B school for FDP and Now, when I went there, right, the first case study which I got was whether Make My Trip is bigger or Indigo Airlines is bigger, right? This was the first case study which was given. And generally, we being a normal finance guy will say, "Acha, jiska revenue zyada hai, whichever company is in more profit is a bigger," right? But that is something which is not there, right? You need to do a very in-depth research when you're going here, right? The best part is that you're going to be solving a lot of case studies, right? This case study open up your mindset, right? Generally, in CAs, we don't have the case study curriculum base, right? But in MBAs, you're going to be solving a lot of case studies which help you to differentiate, guys. So case study is something which will help you to enhance, right? It will give you better learning, right? That is one thing which I would like to highlight for all of you. And yes, of course, right? Whatever you do, right? One thing which you need to again remember is that in your career, you need to be ensure that, or you need to be sure that you're upscaling yourself in whatever way possible, because at the end of a day, there are days are going to be coming in, because I generally again says that change before you have to, right? There are days when the change is something which is going to be there, right? If you're not changing, others have changed themselves. You need to change before you have to change it out, because before it becomes mandatory, right? You should not feel it out after some stage in your life. I'm not getting promoted because I don't have some additional skill sets in my resume, right? Because now everyone is at par, right? Sub CA hai, everyone is at par. But again, you need to now take your career to the next level, right? So you need to define it. What is a course? What is something which you need to do, right? So that you can build it out in a different way.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Before we move on to the question and answers for the attendees, I would, before I miss this opportunity, thank you. Thank you to all my speakers, all the chartered accountants, for sharing your view, your experience. And I think this was a super learning experience. It is a pleasure to connect with all of you. I think we should now move on and give an opportunity to our attendees. We have a question from Amara that I have. Okay. What's the difference between a 1-year and a 2-year MBA program? So, Amara, I will tell you what you need to do is, when you are selecting an MBA, always look at the curriculum. There are some universities who have only 12 subjects, but they are for 2 years. There are some universities who have minimum subjects, but again for 1 year. So it depends. You always have to see, because the timings of the classes vary, etc. Don't look at the year. It is always the curriculum, the subjects that will matter. Eligibility, different universities have different eligibility. At SP Jain, yes, we accept CAT, GMAT, GRE, but we also have our own entrance test, which is called SP JAT, and it is much simpler than GMAT. And do CAs have any diversity points? No. Moving on further, when is it appropriate to pursue an MBA post CA? Immediately after CA or after certain work experience? Anybody wants to answer this? For Nandini?
Yeah, I'll take that up. Nandini, when you are a fresh CA, you don't have the relevant work experience that you should be having in a corporate environment, unless you have been working with, unless you have done your industrial training. So, it is always better to understand the corporate environment, how things work, what business functions are there. Let yourself in, make some mistakes, so you know where you're going wrong and what needs to be corrected. And after a couple of years, when you feel that now you are able to fund the MBA course, go for it. So that is when, because initial years, you're still, growing up the ladder, maybe, assistant manager or manager, but then MBA kicks in when you really want to go up the managerial position and go to the C-suite level, So I feel, it is my own personal opinion, it is better if you go for it after a couple of years.
I think adding to Shakira, there is no right answer to this kind of questions. It depends on your environment and your aspirations. See, again, MBA is kind of opening up your way of thinking, the way you will be pursuing a problem. As CA Shivam mentioned, MBA is all about problem solving. So in CA, we are more linked to numbers and different type of laws and regulations. our whole emphasis is to ensure that we are always accurate, we are giving true and fair opinions, those kind of things. But when you're in MBA, you are always kind of putting yourself into a boardroom where you are expected to make a decision. Not always your decision will be right, but you will be following certain method into making the decision. How you can read a statement, quickly, what kind of interpretations to be made on that statement, what kind of information to be asked, what kind of questions to be asked. You will again get a lot of perspective on that. So definitely, again, if you are having some experience, you will have a better way of asking those questions. But if you are young also, it is opening up many different, channels for you. And it will help you into going into much detailed, comprehensive way of learning new areas and participating into a bigger decision-making roles.
Thank you. Yes, Nandini, to add, if you already have 3 years work experience, you can pursue this. You can look at an MBA because it's always when you keep postponing it, you keep adding responsibilities in your life, and then it becomes a little challenging. So you already have perspective from everyone now. Jayash has a question. As a CA fresher, is online interactive class open to us, or we should have work experience before being eligible for the online interactive class? I think it's a similar answer that, in case you already have an experience, you are eligible, go ahead for it. If you are not eligible, if you don't have 3 years experience, I always suggest everyone, why do universities have an eligibility criteria of 3 years? Because we want you to experience, and then when you actually enter an MBA, you can link it. You can then, it'll be more easier for you to connect the dots. That's my answer for this. Yashwant, ma'am, I thought of doing corporate tax in Big Fours for 3 years, then move to finance. Is it a good option, or should I enter in a finance field now itself? I think a chartered accountant should answer this.
Yeah, so I can answer this. Yashwant, it's very personal thing. If somebody is passionate about tax, they can pursue tax. Otherwise, I'll say corporate. Why I moved to corporate finance from internal audit is because I found that I wanted to delink my output or value with the time I'm putting in. So being accountant, being internal auditor, your time involved in the activity and your value creation are directly linked, or you put lot more effort to create same value. But when you come to corporate finance, your one decision across 2 hours can give you a full year's value to your organization. You are not questioned after that what you are doing. And that's what allowed me to understand that I want to move to corporate finance. So yeah, earlier the better. If you start learning now, corporate finance has enough for you to learn throughout your life, I'll say.
I think just to a different perspective again, Bhavesh.
Yeah,
You are again biased towards corporate finance. I will say that you should be good in what you do. Again, if you are good into what you do, again, Shivam talked about being a specialized doctor, and that will increase your value. So if you are good at what you're doing, you will always see heights. Today, I am, all my colleagues who pursued CS, some of them are partners in Big Fours, some of them are CEOs and CFOs, and in different kind of people you perceived. The success is the continuous learning. That continuous learning and try to learn more about things which you are pursuing. So you are at accounting role. Accounting is again a very simple way of saying things. Some of the panelists also talked about that accountant doesn't have a view. But as you go again, your sphere of influence will definitely increase, because your numbers, or probably whatever you will speak, that will be believed by a higher hierarchy within the within your system. What CA does is that it opens up your ability, the MBA does is that it opens up your ability to connect with the other part of the organization. So accounting role definitely, is important. Again, it is not something today any company cannot survive without having a strong finance department. That is a must to have. And you will always scale heights there. It may take a little more time, but being a CFO of a company is next to a CEO. So there is nothing wrong in that journey. What again MBA will do is that your ability to communicate to a CEO or any other department head, you will be more convincing, you will be having a better language, you will have a better vocabulary, you will have a better body language, you will have a better way of summarizing, synthesizing the information. And again, as I mentioned, you will be a better decision maker in a boardroom.
Absolutely right. Thank you, Vishal. Bhavya has a question that, hi Priya, thanks for organizing this session. How to decide whether to do an MBA from India or abroad, and what are the consideration one should consider? So Bhavya, it actually depends on you, whether you want to move to another country and pursue it there. Do you want to do it online? So always remember, when you, as I mentioned earlier, you have to create an Excel with all the different universities that you are looking at. Like, for example, what you need to mention in that is the curriculum, the number of hours, where are the faculties from, what is the strength of the cohort, very important, because the more, the better. And also, of course, the fees in the consideration. So these are the aspects that, you should first consider. And if it's SP Gen, the sitting in India also, you can do this course now. In fact, we just started today. We had an orientation for our batch, which started for the Global Executive MBA, and the orientation is still going on.
I think one more important Priyal here, which
Sure.
you're not mentioning. If you can afford to take a break of 2 years to do MBA, that is a subject which again you have to answer. For Shakira, for me, this was an important question. If I want to pursue MBA through IIM, I cannot do it online, also having a classroom experience. I think that is the very unique thing which SPGen provides you, that you are having access to a classroom environment, but you are doing it a comfort of your house, your own place. You can be in a job which is require you to travel, but still you can pursue MBA. So this is again a very, very unique thing, and that was one of the important reasons for me personally to go for this course. So timing is very important. Fees, all other things are there, but as a CA, you are already a professional. Your time is what will how you spend your time will guarantee how successful you become in future. So from that perspective, this particular platform allows you to continue to do what work you're already doing. At the same time, you are uplifting your education, your knowledge base by doing EMBA.
Thank you. Going further, Raj Kumar, physical campus is available in Dubai, or it's only online? So we have a campuses, as I mentioned, in 5 different countries, but the MBA, so basically, see, I'm not sure, Raj Kumar, what is your background or what is your profile? So if physical campus is available in Dubai, so I think, are you talking about the executive MBA? Then the course is conducted on campus in Dubai and in Singapore, both, and otherwise online everywhere. If you're looking at a full-time MBA, guys, yes, very important thing, a full-time MBA is a 1-year course. So if you have the liberty to leave your job, then you can do the full-time MBA. It's a tri-city course. You have 4 months in Dubai, 4 months in Sydney, 4 months in Singapore. So you get an exposure with different countries as well. Vaibhav, is entrance test mandatory? Absolutely mandatory. And please, if you have a chance to, if you are applying to a university who are not giving you an opportunity to a test or an interview and just giving you an admission, don't go for it. Always go for a university where you have an interview or an entrance test, because that's the way you will understand what kind of students are admitted. We don't allow everybody to do an MBA, right? I mean, the eligibility criteria is important. At the same time, I always, when I'm talking to my students, when I'm training them for the interview, very important is the attitude. The more than the aptitude, it's the attitude also, because we want similar mindsets coming in the same classroom. That's about it. Bhavya, I think we answered your question. She has another question is, are you aware that GMAT has come out with Focus Edition? Do you have any thoughts on classic GMAT and GMAT Focus Edition? I have no clue about it. Anybody else would like to answer this? Any of our speakers have any idea about this question? I'm sorry, we'll move ahead to the next one. Sanjit, as a CA fresher, what are the different domains in which you can gain experience now before pursuing an MBA? Yes, Shakira.
Yeah, I mean, it can be anything, Sanjit. It doesn't really matter whether you come from, as Bhavesh said, he went from internal audit to corporate finance, or, even if you're in tax, you are into accountancy, you are into cost management, you can be into anything, you can be into project management. It doesn't really matter. What matters is you have 3 years experience. That's all it needs. So from whatever forum, or basically from whatever functional area you're coming, it doesn't have an impact on where you are going. What MBA does is something really different. It adds to what you already have. So what you have doesn't matter. What is being added is what you should look out for.
Yeah,
I think in
yes.
addition, in addition
Yeah.
to what Shakira said, it will give you also idea about other subjects, and you again never know by looking at those subjects. Again, Priyal said 30 subjects, right? So you may even get a glimpse of how other professional or other subjects work, and you may decide completely to change your career from where you are currently and get to a new work area. And I've seen many people who have done that successfully.
Yes, I mean, Shakira so very well told that. So being a chartered accountant, he is well aware of the knowledge of, every compliance point of view. So this gives a flavor to the, soft skill set and some other skill set where they can learn and then grow into the organization.
Thank you.
So it doesn't matter the different domains which they can work. I mean, it requires some corporate experience where they can, learn the because they're already equipped with all the CA knowledge and all. In the corporate environment, it is interacting with various functional knowledge, various department, how they are working and how the processes are going on, to understand overall level of the corporate environment, so that they will enable to do the MBA is very, to learn this kind of various skill set to get into the management levels. That shows them to the to take the MBA course and all.
Yes, right. Fatima, is articleship experience considered as experience for MBA? It depends. This is case to case basis. We actually, we have to send the details to our admission director. But if it is a full-time articleship, yes, then there is a chance that it is considered. Kishan has a question. I want to get into management consulting, and for that MBA are preferred over CAs. 2 options. 1, go with corporate job and do lateral switch, or do MBA with a job.
I will answer the question indirectly. So just to let you know, with MBA, I mean, we have this course called GSIP, wherein we are actually supposed to create a consulting report. So basically, we are given an assignment where we are supposed to write the entire consultancy report for that particular project at hand. So it's over 4 months. The entire process goes over 4 months, and it depends on how fast you can do, or even if you want more time, you need to talk to the dean and get some extensions. But it's not like writing an audit report. It's completely different. It's how you present, what you write, what you don't write, what are the pictorials you put in, what is the flow of events, what should come first, what should come last, So everything is taught to you here in a way that the client wants to look at. So when we come from a CA background, the only thing we know is financial reports, or basically audit reports. But consultancy is a completely different ball game. I mean, I'm talking about business problems, not not the audit reports that we have. So yeah, EMBA gives you a flavor of it, and I think that might be the reason why MBAs are preferred over CAs when it comes to a consultancy kind of a gig. Yeah, it's up to you, whether your corporate job allows you to have that switch. I mean, if it gives you an opportunity to do that, yeah, go ahead with it. It's really cool to be in that kind of a forum. But then if you do an MBA, you know firsthand what you're supposed to do, what you're not supposed to do, and what is the flow, and what you should write, how you should write, what not to write. So this is how I look at it, Kishan.
Thank you. There's a question with from Akshay. Akshay is okay. He said that, is there a EMBA graduation ceremony after the course completion? Absolutely, yes. We have 2 ceremonies in a year. One is in the Dubai and one is in Singapore. You can, I mean, depending wherever you want to, you can join. It's a degree, so you will definitely have a convocation.
Lovely question.
Great. Any other questions, guys? You can put it in the chat box. We'll be happy to cover. Okay, great. So guys, if you have any other question, I think you can reach out to Priyal. Priyal have shared her email ID, right? Priyal, if you don't mind, can you please share again?
Sure.
Yeah. Great.
So I think we've answered everybody's question, and a lot of they've got a lot of information today. So I think they're overwhelmed. It's time for them to let them sink in this information. And thank you, Shivam, for actually being a part of this session. And thank you to our speakers, Bhavesh, Shakira, Vishal, and Yogender. And Yogesh and Yogender and Vishal also have class today, right? So thank you for sparing this time in your busy schedule. I mean, thank you to everyone. Thank you to my team for organizing this, Rubina, Renita, and Avinash. And thank you to all the attendees. I hope you all have a super good weekend ahead.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Priyal.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Pleasure
Shakira.
having you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.